All right, we are live. We are going live. And I'm going to try and do this floor plan as quick as I possibly can because I was probably supposed to send them a version yesterday. But such is life. So we are obviously diving right in because that is what we do. This one is a pretty straightforward project. Right off the bat, it's a 40 by 60 with a 25-foot wide strip to be the living area. So we'll real quick throw on our automatic dimension lines, make our square or our rectangle. So 40 foot by 60 foot, and the house is 25 foot. Now, right now it's showing 25 foot to that inside, and that is what I want because I want that wall essentially to be outside of the living space. I want to get it, even though it's only a difference of about 6 inches, I want to make use of that. So I'm going to quick switch my wall type here to an interior 6 because we still need that 6-inch wall separating the living space from the shop space. So we've got our living half and our garage half. Let's get these dimensions out of the way. Now right now it's showing me that my living area is 2,400 square feet, but that's because I haven't done this yet. Boom, garage. So now our living space immediately drops down to 1018, which is our 25 by 40 side of the house. All right, so super easy. I already have my default set at 9 foot. We're going to go with standard door heights throughout this. Over on this side, we want to do our garage doors real quick, and he wants 2 9-foot doors. So there we go. And those are both 9 foot. Then we just kind of make it all nice and even. And there we go. All right. So garage, basically done. Pretty straightforward. Probably just to be safe, we might throw like a door back here at the corner. And then really quick, I'm going to change it to a slab because we don't need windows on that door. And again, just to make the numbers nice and easy, give us whole number spacing. So, like I said, there's the garage. As long as we're at it, we might as well do the other really simple stuff. So we will build our foundation, which is, let me double check, it's either a monoslab or a crawl space. Monoslab. Okay. Excuse me. And then we just double check our garage and make sure that the software didn't decide to make it a big giant drop. Right now it's, excuse me. Excuse me. 3.5 inches below the main house. So the slab is essentially poured with that little bit of an offset. Keeps any moisture from getting into the house, bugs, that kind of, well, doesn't really help with bugs, but whatever. Are these to code for the area? Thank you. This is just general building code. This one's being built in Montana. There's really minimal code in this particular area. It's county land, so other than just typical, we don't want the building to fall down code, that's what we're working with. And then, standard spacing for like plumbing, toilets, and all that kind of stuff. So the second thing that we're going to do super fast is the roof. Now, I could use automatic roof tools, but this is like the simplest roof ever. So manual roof tools will actually be faster. So we go like that. We use hotkey number 2 to join. And then we just real quick double check our 18-inch overhang. Boom. Drag there. And then I don't remember if the client had specified. Sometimes clients know what they're doing and they'll specify like a roof pitch. This one I don't think did, and I don't think we have any vaulted ceilings or anything like that. So, nope, no vaults. So this one's going to be really easy. So in this neck of the woods, I'm going to just make this a 412 for our pitch. So that means if we were to go outside right now, there we go. We have the simplest, most basic house there is, which is awesome. Exactly what this client wants. Okay, and then my preference, I always move my roof to display on the floor above. I want it to display on the attic level. So if I go up there, now you can see there's my roof. Just makes it easier when it comes time to do layout pages. So, all right. So, like I said, easy stuff out of the way. Now we move into the house. For the house, we want 2 bedrooms, 1 bath, and then basically, you know, laundry, kitchen, living room. So, easiest way to do something like this, we're going to grab our things. 2 bedrooms, 1 bath. Double check here. Okay, so normally speaking, oh, and then we are going to, even though technically it's 1 bath, we are going to rough plumb for a bathroom out in the garage. So I'm just going to make a quick little note here. Map out 3/4 bath in garage. I just do this to make notes for myself so that I don't forget to come back and do this later. So this first bathroom, the one that's actually in the house, is essentially kind of the master bath, but it is the shared bath. So we want, okay, 3 walls of tile with a shower curtain for the shower. There is no tub. 1 sink, and the toilet can just be open. It doesn't need to have its own closet. So this is not an incredibly huge master bath or master bedroom. So we're going to go ahead and just kind of grab this, grab that, and then let's do something. We want the bathroom to be accessible to both the master bedroom and the guest bedroom, because this is the only bathroom in the house. So we need to figure out how we want to map this out, because of course the issue is you need your bedrooms to have egress. So your bedrooms have to be touching an exterior wall. So my first thought would have been, of course, you know, tuck the bathroom here and then have bedroom, but that's not going to work. So I think what we're going to do here is actually what we could do, hold on. There's 2 ways we could do this. And this is where literally I am diving in. This is my brainstorming session. I brainstorm while I'm working on this because that's just how things work. So there's 2 ways that we could orient this house. We could have the 2 bedrooms back here and then somehow carve out, you know, the bathroom wherever. The other option is to do bedroom back here, bedroom up here. Excuse me. So sorry. I had one of these monster drinks today, and I'm not a huge fan, but I gave up soda a while back, and so I'm not used to all the sugar and carbonation and whatever. Anywho, so we could have 1 bedroom in the front, 1 bedroom in the back, bathroom kind of in that pass-through, but then that kind of stretches out this whole kitchen, living, dining kind of long and narrow. And I think I do want to try and keep this part open as much as possible. So that being said, our bedrooms are going to go back here like this. And then we'll probably do like bathroom. Let's do, and again, just kind of notes to myself, kitchen, living, bath. And then those will be the bedrooms. We'll do closets. And then if that's the bathroom, we'll also do kind of like, see, that breaks it up a little bit more. I don't really like this. But we need essentially laundry, mudroom. And it's really not like mudroom. It's just essentially, it's the way to come in from the garage to the house without just walking into the living room right off the bat. The software that I'm using, it's up at the top of the screen. It's called Chief Architect. Okay, so now let's start throwing some dimensions in here real quick. All right, so 18 is definitely deeper than it needs to be. Let's quick go to 16. Oh, we need... Okay. And we do want one of these to be slightly larger than the other. Normally I would say I'd want this corner one to be the master, but I kind of want the master to be closer to the bathroom, so I don't know. Actually, let's do this. Let's do like that ish. And then one of these can have kind of a slightly bigger closet. So yeah, let's make this one the master. Let's do 11-foot one there. Okay. Closet 2-foot one. $3'7" maybe? That should do it. And then a little bit deeper for that closet. I think. Actually, hold on. Primary. Well, actually, we don't have to, we're not limited to that dimension for this. Okay, hold on. So let's start throwing doors in here and seeing if that helps us brainstorm a little bit. So that's good. But we can definitely make the closet a little bit deeper if we want. And then our bathroom only need, let's do 6'1" for the bath, and we'll do 5'7" for that. Okay. So yeah, let's go ahead and clear some of this out. Okay, so this is bedroom 2. This is bedroom 1. That'll be obvious that that's closet. This here will be bath. This will be yeah, we'll just mudroom. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Door. So then we want to go into the bathroom here. We'll do a walk-in closet here. And we'll do sliders for that closet. Okay. Bathroom will be like this. Oh, he was going to do tile on 3 sides and a shower curtain on the other. So actually, this bathroom does not need to be 6 foot. We can go to 5 foot. There we go. Okay. So that puts us with, okay, a shower pan. And we're just going to do, there we go. And then for our shower pan, it's going to be 60 by 30. Toilet. Okay. Let's make that a 9-inch drawer base. And then we need a standard sink base. Copy, paste. So we have 7 inches left. So that's enough for each of these to be okay. And then undermount sink. I'm going through this as fast as I possibly can. Okay, so there's our walk-in closet. And actually, if we want to get a little more space out of it, we can flip that door, flip the hinge, do that, and add a little bit more there. So, all right, so now we've got that closet. 13 by 12, that's a little on the small side. But 11 is really on the small side for that. Shoot. Yeah, this is not huge. Because he did say he wanted a king size bed in here. Oh man. I mean, that's a doable size, especially if we've got that. Pocket drawer doesn't help. I mean, pocket drawer would help the closet, but that's about it. And then we do need a door. Let's see here. And actually we want to do that over here because then we've got our plumbing wall all together. Oh. And software is up at the top of the screen. It's called Chief Architect. Okay, laundry. Okay, side by side and a sink. Okay, then we need a base cabinet. We have our sink. And then we should probably do either, I'm going to do a tall cabinet here. Yeah, but normally I would agree with you, but the client did want a walk-in closet for the master. So, because yeah, normally that's what you do is you do that in the dividing space in between the two. But even at that, that takes up 2 feet here. That would make, I don't know, because here I got to get a king. Let me grab a king bed here. So there's a king bed, which is not terrible. But if you start to, if you cut that in half to get that, to get the closet, A, you lose closet space, and B, we'd have to create a different way to get in. It just, it eats up a lot. So. Okay. Okay, then we need nightstand. That's kind of cute. Okay. Let's do that. The other bedroom here. See, we also want a king in that bedroom. So, and this is where people don't realize how much space some of this stuff actually takes up. So we can get another nightstand and, you know, 2 nightstands and a bed in there, but on this room, we don't have room for a dresser. On this room, we do. So, personal preference. Okay. Oh, shower curtain. Okay. So we have the closet. We've got a small closet, bedroom. Laundry, mudroom is pretty straightforward. You come in from the garage. You got your sink and that. Normally, I'm going to add a couple inches. Because generally speaking, I don't like to do small doors on the laundry room because A, it's a frequently passaged area, and B, if you ever have to do maintenance on those machines or get them in and out, you don't want to be in a situation where you've created a pocket like where you have to take the door off the hinges to get that machine out. So we'll do some upper cabinets here real quick. And then on this one, so it creates, actually let's make that a little bit shallower, and then box construction, we're going to get rid of the bottom. So we have just that above the sink. Okay. All right. And we got a 36-inch door. Awesome. Thank you for the follow. All right. So here's our living room. Here's our kitchen. I'm just going to call this whole thing great room. All right. And I probably asked some dumb questions during this because, yep, there's no walk-in pantry, no seating at the island or peninsula, so that's good. Honestly, I think we're probably gonna do like a little U-shaped kitchen here. And actually, you know what I might do? Here, hold on. Let me pull up a different file here. Ah, here we go. Okay. Hold on. I want that. Copy. Paste. Rotate. There we go. Super easy. And then I can close that. So that made that really easy. Because I already know that this is a compact space-saving kitchen. I know it fits. Oh, holy cow, that fit like perfectly. And then push that on over. And then we just need to check our dimension here to here. We'll do, actually, let's do 3'9". There we go. And then here we're going to do just a little half wall to back this up. But the client did say he didn't need an extra eat-in area or anything like that. And then I am going to add a little more cabinetry here. Because I feel like we just need that extra little bit of space. And honestly, I'm going to put the dishwasher on that side. Okay. There we go. And then if we were to look at that in 3D. Okay, so what I do need to do is I need to get rid of the cap on this wall. And then extend the countertop just a couple inches just to make it look finished. So we're going to come over here. Grab that, and then I'm just going to drag that down to the end. Okay, so if we look at that in 3D, now you can see we just have that nice little finished edge on it. How am I sharing my screen? So TikTok has the TikTok Studio. Once you get to a certain number of followers, you have access to the TikTok Studio. You can set it up. If you've ever used OBS or something like that to screen share for like any of the other streaming platforms, it's very similar to that, but essentially you can set up a camera view, you can set up a screen share view, and organize it however you want. So hope that helps. But I think you have to hit 3,000 followers or something like that in order to have this format available to you. You can previously what I did is I actually had like a little tripod that I set my phone up to, and I would turn it around and I would smile, and then I would turn it around and I would like shoot a picture using my camera video. And it was, horribly moiré and, whatever. But it got me to enough followers to where I could get the actual correct platform. So, all right. So there's the kitchen. Pretty straightforward. We have all different colors of appliances. So let's make this uniform. And dishwasher, okay? Cool. So we have that. Then, okay. And, oh, hold on one sec. That is an electric range. We want a gas range. So let's quick pull that out. Hold on, go to plan view, it's easier sometimes. Okay, so we got our range. Again, we need to change the color. And then slide-in range, microwave above the stove, 30-inch. Cabinets do go up to the ceiling, so that is one change that we need to make here. Oops. Okay, so we need upper, okay, let's take this one. We're going to duplicate this cabinet. So we're just going to drag that on up. Floor to bottom is 90, that's correct. That's correct. Okay, so then we can go ahead and remove the crown. Actually, wait, hold on. Yeah, we're going to remove the crown from these cabinets. This crown we're going to change to a shaker style. And I use base molding. Make sure to offset that so it goes up. So essentially that fills that gap up there at the top. Okay, then we're going to make a copy. Drag it that way. We know it needs to be 24 inches wide. We know that the hinge is on the wrong side. Okay, copy, paste. But now the hinge is on the wrong side again. Okay, make another copy. Oh, make another copy. Okay, this one needs to be 36 inches wide. The height is correct. The depth is 24. Floor to the bottom is 90. And then this tall cabinet, again, we get rid of the moldings on that one. This needs to be 24 inches for the depth. And then we'll slide that over. And this cabinet is only 18 inches, so there we go. So now we have our bank of cabinets. Now on this one I did an end cap cabinet, but because they're both finished, I think it works. And then real quick on this one, we're just going to go to our right side, custom, and instead of door, we're just going to do door panel. So that way we don't have the hardware on that side. But now you see we have this finished corner. So there we go. And then our cabinets go all the way up to the ceiling, so we've got lots of storage there. We should probably do the same thing in our laundry room. Hold on. So we'll real quick go in here. We'll get rid of that molding. I'm going to come over here. I'm going to grab this cabinet, copy, paste, make this one 2'3". Oops. If it hit, like, it's weird because if you are almost about to hit the wall and you try to not hit the wall, it'll stop you. But if you already go through the wall and then you try to not hit it again, then it'll keep going. Okay, so copy, paste, paste, and then this one, oh, also the same. So paste, except that one needs to be 24 inches for the depth. And again, base cabinet, or the tall cabinet, we need to delete that molding. All right, so now we've just made our cabinetry in our mudroom awesome as well. Easy. Okay, I see I've got siding on this wall. Apparently I forgot to pull that off when I All right, so that got our siding off of that wall. Okay, next, windows. You wanted to do sliders. Okay, so we're gonna go here. We're gonna grab our window tool. We'll go into the bedroom. We're gonna make these right sliding. Doesn't matter if it's right or left for the moment. We're going to do 60 by, we'll make them good sized, 60 by 54. We'll hit OK, copy, paste, make nice even spacing. Here we're going to do a casement instead because there's not enough space otherwise, but we might as well add a little window there. And then we want to do like a patio door. And then we need to do a front door. And I'm going to just change the look of this one a little bit. That one. And I'm actually thinking, let's kind of move that. He said he wanted 6 seats at the dining room table, but that seems a lot for this house. I'm going to pull that chair real quick. That's kind of a cute one. So we'll do that. And then so you can probably fit 6 around this. Yeah, actually, let's do that. So let's delete. Let's. And we're going to copy, paste, like that. There we go. Put those, make sure they're tucked under the table. Nope, that did not work. All right, for whatever reason, that's not working, but that's okay. If we look at this in plan view, now we've got dining room table and chairs. Then, let me double check here. No fireplace, didn't think there was. And then we'll do some seating. Okay, that fits. And then I'm gonna do, originally I wasn't gonna break this up, but we'll do that and that. This becomes dining. You gotta hustle for it. All right, and then there's our kitchen. Okay. So then, no, actually, let's skip the armchair. Find a cute little ottoman of some sort. Maybe do 2. Okay, and then that's massive. Oh, that's kind of cute. Okay, so we'll throw that in here. All right, so then if we look in our view, And I like this dark fabric. I wonder if I can get that on the sofa. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Chair. The ottoman's too much. Okay. So then we'll move our camera to the exterior. Exterior, he wanted like a dark beige tan metal siding. So pull up standing seam. Here's beige. Okay, oops, and we need to paint that door. And then black trim, yes. Dark green for the roofing. And again, and we're doing metal. Okay. And no stone or brick. I'm not sure. That was, what is, I wonder what the, there's the brown. Yeah, let's do the brown. Okay. So black trim, brown siding, green roof. I think that looks good. I'm going to change this door real quick so it kind of matches the front door a little bit. That is the full glass version of the front door. And then again, we'll make sure to make that black. So that's the, oops, don't want the siding to be black. Not on this project, at least. So there we go. Front door, side door, garage door. All right, so then all that is left we've got mechanical here. Somewhere kind of back in this corner. And then we want to, oops, do like a little 3/4 bath out here. We're going to leave that labeled as garage so it doesn't change the floor level or any of those calculations, but then we're going to manually rename it bath. Oops. If I can type, we're going to rename it bath. There we go. Then we're going to grab toilet. Throw a shower in there real quick. Slide that in the corner, make sure we don't have our clearances overlapping. And we'll do a pedestal sink here. And then I'm just going to make a quick little note here. Rough plumb for future. Because we want to show that we've got it. We want to know that we've planned for it. But we're not necessarily going to finish that now. Okay. So, double check my notes. Single level living. Basic. Okay, all one level, 25 by 40, shower only, 2 bed, 1 bath, standard door heights. Oh, we need to do a little tiny slab here by the front door. And then that also means with that, just a little tiny roof. Okay, so we'll drag this to here. We want this to go. Okay, now if I drag this up, display on floor above, we go up. Oh. Well, that is not correct. Hold on. Fascia 105. There we go, that's centered. And actually, we want those to be probably a 6/12 pitch, not a 8/12 pitch. And then we gotta drag that back, break, break, break. And then use hotkey number 2 to get our join. Do a quick little break here. And then quick little break here. And then if we go to our exterior, you'll see we're pretty close. That's not exactly what I wanted. Yeah, we're a little funky there. It's off center. F9. Why are we off center? That's a 6. Fascia's at 105. That's a 6. Oh. There we go. The chair's hitting the wall. Okay, and then we just gotta do our roof. It's a tiny bit on the snug side, but it's doable. And it depends on what size table they actually end up going with, but that just shows them what's a maybe. All right. Okay. And then I think we're just far enough out that we probably want to do some posts for that overhang. And then a single copy over here. Go out to 3D. There we go. Is Chief Architect as good as ArchiCAD? I have not used ArchiCAD. I haven't used, well, honestly, I haven't used anything but Chief Architect in about 20 plus years. So I can't specifically say. I can say that when I left AutoCAD to start using Chief Architect, I was so happy and the learning curve was super easy and I would never go back. So there's that. All right. So we got that. He did not want to cover on this side. He may add a patio in the future. He travels a lot for work, and so this is one of the locations he's going to go to. So he doesn't need this to be all frilled out, and this is a very basic everything. All right. Did I ask him about flooring? Painted. Leave as concrete. Okay, so let's do stained concrete. And for that, I'm going to go to this view called Dollhouse View. And I'm just going to do a basic light stained concrete throughout. Okay. So that is the house. I'm going to change the color of the wood on some of this furniture. I don't like that white edge. And then I don't like that fabric that's in the bedroom, so let's do, and that's kind of a, well, no, that gap's okay. And then really quick, again, we're not doing anything crazy fancy here, but I want this to look realistic. My rendering software, Chief Architect, is an all-in-one. So I do my brainstorming, my construction drawings, my rendering, everything all in one. And we'll get to the rendering here in just a moment. Okay. So we're going to come back here. Oh, I don't like that on the headboard. All right, well. Okay. Yeah, doing everything all in one software, I mean, if you can, definitely the way to go. Okay. Okay. Oh, that's not bad. Okay. And then we'll copy paste. There we go. I like that. All right. Da-da. And then I just need to put in the bare minimum of lighting so that I can render this properly. So I'm just kind of running through here real quick. An exhaust fan light combo in both of the bathrooms. Vanity light above the sink in both bathrooms. Really simple, small-ish. Yeah, it's not bad. Put that. I'm not going to do pendants in the kitchen. I think that would just be a little bit too much in that space. We'll just throw some lights down like that. And for the moment, yes, I'm just using can lights, but we'll do here and there. We'll do a couple lights in that closet. We've got the lamps. And then we'll do corner. Kind of the four corners there, and just a little basic middle of the room. Oh, wait. I'm doing ceiling fans. Oh, in the bedrooms. Okay, so hang on a sec. Undo that. Ceiling fan, and ceiling fan. And then in the garage, and I am typing way too fast. There we go. We'll do here and there. Okay. So then we switch over real quick to plot plan view, terrain perimeter, just so the house isn't floating in midair. Terrain grass region to make it look kind of realistic. Terrain driveway polyline. And we'll do a little break, drag that on over. All right, so nothing fancy. It probably won't even be paved. It'll probably end up being gravel. Software is called Chief Architect. It's up at the top of the screen. But that at least gives us something. And then throw a backdrop in here. And I know this is one of my favorites for my mid and eastern Montana clients. My western Montana clients, they get mountains. But here on our part of the state, we get kind of this scrubby hill. Okay, so then 3D render techniques. Switch over to ray trace. This is our photorealistic view. We do a few things real quick with our lighting. So first we adjust our sun. We do not need that bright, so we drop it down to 26 and then uncheck that so we can play with our light and shadows. Then we go to this and we switch to a new light set, because when you're doing ray trace, you want to control the lighting. If you have too many lights on or lights in rooms that you're not using, it can really kind of slow down your rendering. So I just want to make sure I'm turning off anything that's not outside at the moment. Lastly, render techniques options. I'm going to check the DLSS button. That's going to allow this to go a lot faster. I'm going to beef up my saturation because I like bold colors a little bit. Not going to worry as much about my brightness, and honestly even my exposure I'm going to drop just a little bit because I like there to be some contrast, that kind of stuff. So we'll go ahead and hit OK. Get that angle where I like it. File, export, picture. Okay, then I just got to pick where I'm sending it. And I just start naming things. Exterior 1. Okay. Really straightforward. We'll kind of zoom in. File, export, picture. Exterior 2. Now, if I was doing standard render and not the DLSS, this would take a lot longer. Each one of these images would take something in the range of like 60 to 90 seconds. Okay, I'm going to adjust my sun angle. And this is less important on a house that is a pure rectangle. When you have something that's a bit more ins and outs and stuff, these exterior renders, when you're adjusting the shadow, really help to show the volume and the mass and the size and shape of the space. When it's a rectangle, I mean, we know what the space is, but I still like to show my clients what I can. File, export. Okay, and lastly, we'll kind of get up here on the front door. And again, adjust our sun angle. Like that. Okay, so now we will align and go right inside the front door. Now we need to turn on our interior light. So we go to our light bulb, new set, and we'll do great, because we're just going to do everything in this front room. So that means our dining room, those recessed lights that we put in the great room, that ceiling fan, any of those recessed lights in our kitchen area. I'm not going to turn the TV on because we don't need that. Oh my goodness, gotta move my legs. All right, and I think that's it for this, for this front space. Okay, So now we have that, and then what we want to do is adjust our sunlight so it helps our interior. Oh, there's gifts. Yay, thank you. Okay, and I'm just going to go until I see light coming in. I swear I saw it just a second ago. Oh, there we go. Ooh, yeah, kind of. I want it to hit the kitchen like that. There we go. So we hit OK. And then File, Export. Now we name it Interior. Okay, now you see how it very quickly went from cloudy to not cloudy. That is the video card doing what it's supposed to do. There we go. In kind of justifying. Now sometimes it'll still be a little bit cloudy, and so you just have to do it a second time before you move the camera again, and that helps. But okay, so then we're going to kind of come over here. And I'm not even going to worry about changing the sun angle. I am going to drop this chandelier just a little bit. And I don't like that chrome on there. It just doesn't show up very well. There we go. Okay. So, File, Export, Interior 2. Okay. I'll sneak on over here to this corner. Turn and look back. It's listed up at the top of the screen. It's called Chief Architect. Okay. Then we'll kind of go here. Beautiful. File, export. Come on over here. Kind of like that. So the reason I'm doing these renders is because with every draft, especially the first draft, I always send, thank you. Yeah, the software is awesome. I love this. I always send views of the whole thing, so they can really truly see what, in fact, this project will actually look like. So real quick, I opened up the doors to the bathroom and the laundry, so I want to quick turn on those lights. I don't know which one is which there, so I'm just gonna turn both of those on for the moment. And then laundry and mudroom. There we go. File, export. Okay. Then we'll hop over here and show the laundry room. Then we will, come over here and show the bathroom. And then just a few little things of my own. First of all, that's too tall. Top of that needs to be about 80. But then we'll drag that down so it comes down. Oh, I forgot to show the shower head. I got really fast on this one. If you look in my profile, you can find my link tree. That's got links to everything that you need to know. So, okay, pull that. I also don't have a sink faucet in here. With the sink faucets, I align it with the midpoint of that cabinet, and then I drag it back to where I want it. Now my kitchen, I already had a faucet in there because I'd copied that from a previous project, so that's good. And then here for the bathroom, I will do the same thing. Align with midpoint. we go. And then I also don't have a mirror above my sink. So we'll go ahead and put that there. Oops. We'll open this up. I want the bottom edge to be 40, height to be 38, and I'll adjust the width manually. And this is just a placeholder for your standard builder grade mirror. And then we'll do a different mirror out in the garage. Actually, you know what? That's too fancy for out there. Again, we want the bottom. And there we go, that's good. Okay. And then lastly, I like my center cabinets to have a double door. I think it just looks nicer. Thank you. Everyone keeps asking me the font. It's a font within the software. It's called Architect's Daughter, I think. Or no, Chief Blueprint. Chief Blueprint. But really, it doesn't make a difference. Export picture. Okay. Then we turn the corner, and then I'm going to open both of these doors. Okay, first we'll show this just the way it is. And we'll come in here. Now I need to turn on a different light set. So we'll do new set, bedrooms. Okay. And I'm going to adjust my sunlight just a little bit because it's not on the right side of the house right now. There we go. Okay. My pricing is not per square foot. So it's a flat fee, kind of based on the size of the project, but also based on the complexity. When I used to charge hourly with a square footage bump, it was only based on the livable space. So personal preference. So I don't charge differently for patios and carports. And like I said, now I've switched to a flat fee structure, so that it doesn't even factor in anymore. Okay, and then the other bedroom. All right, and then the last thing that we need to do is the garage. So we'll do one more light set, and that will be the garage and the bathroom in the garage. So obviously here on this side, it's pretty straightforward. So then I just take all these images and I pop them over into Canva into a slideshow. I think I want that door to be black on this side. So same thing here, file, export. Thank you for the follow. And then we'll scooch on over here. And we have, oops. All right, cool. So then now I'm just going to reset my camera out here. I'm going to quick change my light set back to the exterior set. Now at some point I'll add, exterior sconces and whatever else, but I'm not too worried about that right now. And then before I close this, hit save, but also right click save camera, because what that will do is save all of my settings, like my backdrop, my lighting, things like that. Otherwise I'll have to reset the backdrop, reset some of those things down the road. And then the last thing that I do here, export a picture of this plan, and then export a PDF. So that way my client can kind of zoom in and see things a little bit more in detail. How did I learn? I learned AutoCAD when I was in college, and one of my first jobs here after college was using Chief Architect. So the guy said, "You know how to draft," handed me a 1,200 page printed manual for Chief Architect and said, "Here you go, figure it out." About a year or so later, another employer of mine who also used Chief Architect sent me to the Chief Academy training in Coeur d'Alene. And then I've just been using it for 20 years. The last 2 years I've gone back to Coeur d'Alene and done additional trainings. And I'm planning on going again this year. So it's just one of those things that you always kind of keep up on. They have a really great video library you can choose from, and that you can watch and kind of learn a lot of things, but a lot of it's just doing it. So, all right. So now I've exported the PDF. I've got the images. I'll pop this into Canva, send this over to my client, and hopefully get the seal of approval. So, pretty darn awesome. We designed this entire house in an hour and 15 minutes today. So thank you so much for tuning in. Loved having you here. And, I am horrible at being actually on a schedule, but generally speaking, I go live in the afternoons, sometime Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So follow, like, subscribe, all that good stuff so you don't miss out on the next one. I have to pop this into a slideshow and then head on out because it is almost 5 p.m. So have an awesome day. Thank you. And I will catch you tomorrow. Bye.